little bit in practice, but being able to bring it together and have the same end goal and go against somebody else that we, only had a little bit of time to get to know, I think it was good. We're obviously going to have a lot to work on. Obviously going to have to be better defensively as far as like fouling and stuff because, a lot of teams are going to look at that and want to attack us. Personally, I think just being able to knock down open shots was the key for my success. My teammates kept finding me and, they put their trust in me, so I have to repay them with an assist.
Team USA head coach Kara Lawson addressed the media following the opening qualifying victory, crediting the team's energy and focus as the primary drivers of the performance. She singled out Ryan Howard's three-point shooting as the catalyst that got the offense moving early, and pointed to Caitlin Clark's playmaking as the force that pushed the team into a consistent rhythm during the second quarter. Multiple players made their senior national team debuts in the game, and Lawson expressed genuine satisfaction with how they handled the moment, noting that the occasion clearly meant a great deal to players who had grown up watching this program. On the question of team identity, Lawson described a style built around effort, pace, and unselfishness.
Success, my teammates kept finding me and, they put their trust in me, so I have to repay them with an assist on the stat sheet. But yeah, I think like Coach said, just being able to have this on our backs now and be able to take something from it into the rest of the games.
We'll open it up to media now. Just a reminder, when you get the mic, to just state your name and the media company you're with. We'll start in the first row here.
Good afternoon. My name is Hector Jose Gonzalez by from the studio. This is a question for the coach. Coach, congratulations on the victory. You had 3 players on double figures. A lot of players are new,
The team wants to push tempo, force opposing defenses into disadvantaged situations, and convert opportunities off turnovers and missed shots. Physicality is part of the plan, though she acknowledged the first half featured too many fouls that put the opposition in the bonus earlier than desired. Defending in transition, protecting the paint, and limiting opponents to single possessions were the foundational elements she kept returning to. The depth of the roster was a recurring theme throughout the press conference.
Figures. A lot of players are new, making their debut today. How proud are you of the team right now?
I'm very proud of the team. It's an exciting day when you get to make your debut for the U.S. Women's National Team. It's a big day. It means a lot to our players. I think almost all of them grew up watching this team and wanting to be a part of it, and now they get a chance to join it in this qualifying tournament. So it's a dream come true for a lot of them, and I thought they played well. I don't think you would.
When asked about the rotation strategy, which at times resembled a hockey-style full-unit swap, Lawson was direct about what that approach was designed to accomplish. She is still gathering information on how different combinations perform together. She knows the individual players. What she is trying to determine is which groupings create the best collective chemistry on both ends of the floor.
Dream come true for a lot of them, and I thought they played well. I don't think you would have noticed that it was their debut. I thought they came in and had the appropriate level of respect for the game and played well, so it was good to see.
We only have one mic, so I think we're going to just move our way over, so we'll get to everyone. So yeah, go ahead.
Jambari Moreau Sports Media, and Miami Herald. Question for Coach and one for Ryan. To Coach to start, what is the identity of this team they're trying to establish through these qualifying games?
I think it starts with our work ethic and how hard we play.
The second quarter lineup of Clark, Kelsey Plum, Howard, Monique Billings, and Kiki Iriafen drew specific praise. That group, in her view, was the clearest example of an offensive unit finding its footing and building momentum. Lawson also addressed Clark individually. Asked about any pre-game conversations given that it was Clark's first competitive appearance in roughly 8 months, Lawson confirmed she met one-on-one with every player in the days leading up to the game. She described Clark as one of the most dynamic facilitators in the world, and noted that the quality of teammates surrounding her in this setting is higher than anything Clark has played with previously.
It starts with our work ethic and how hard we play. I think that has to be a staple to who you are, no matter the level. And I think we're a group that plays hard. We need to embrace physicality, maybe embraced it a little too much in the first half. We got in them in the bonus, both quarters. But I thought we settled in the second half and played with that balance. And we want to play with a lot of pace. We want to score. We feel like we have a lot of weapons on this team. We can get out and run, and we want to be unselfish as well. So those are the things that we kind of talk about and emphasize.
The combination of elite scorers and finishers around a player of Clark's vision creates a genuinely difficult assignment for opposing defenses. Lawson said Clark managed the balance between scoring and distributing effectively and looked settled throughout. The starting lineup question was put to Lawson directly. Her response framed the decision as part of an ongoing evaluation process. Rotations and starting spots will continue to shift as the tournament progresses, and no configuration should be read as a permanent statement about hierarchy or value.
On this team, we can get out and run, and we want to be unselfish as well. So those are the things that we kind of talk about and emphasize, and I thought they came to fruition for us in the game.
And then for Ryan, I wanted to ask, when you're playing internationally, you have young players around the world and just young people around the world watching. What role do you feel like this team plays in representing and growing the game globally?
I think it's just, obviously, we want to set an example, but being able to give them the opportunity to see it up close and personal. Sometimes things look a lot different on TV, but being able to be here and interact with them and like give them more of us than what you can see on TV, I think is.
The depth of the roster, she argued, is actually an asset in this regard. When a starter picks up foul trouble or a lineup loses its footing, the ability to go to the bench and receive high-quality performances without a significant drop in level is a genuine competitive advantage. Howard, speaking from the player's side, credited her teammates for the efficiency she showed in the first game. The shots she received were open ones, generated by good ball movement rather than individual creation. She acknowledged the team still has defensive work to do, particularly around fouling, and pointed to the upcoming game against host nation Puerto Rico as a chance to tighten those habits under a more hostile crowd environment.
Back with them and like give them more of us than what you can see on TV, I think is, huge, and setting that example, being a good role model. Obviously, we love little kids, boys and girls, looking up to us because they're going to be the ones who change the world. And so if we set a good example, then everything will be better from there.
Is anyone else on this? Oh, you have one. Go ahead.
Luis Rodriguez from the De La Línea podcast. Coach, some debut tonight with the senior team of USA. How important this debut for the future of the team?
On the broader stage, both Lawson and Howard acknowledged the significance of playing internationally in front of young fans who might never get the opportunity to watch top-level women's basketball up close through a screen. The chance to be present and accessible in that context was described as something the team takes seriously. The clearest takeaway from the game, regardless of the framing around rotations and evaluation, is that Clark's impact during her minutes on the floor was the most visible factor in the team's offensive performance. The lineup that produced the best basketball in the game featured her at its center.
We have a great deal of talent in our country, playing the game of basketball, and every quad, it seems like we're able to usher in younger players, and they get an opportunity to play with the team and kind of make their mark. And so we're pleased with the young players that we have within our system. I'm glad that they're here playing with us and just trying to help them continue to grow and get exposed to basketball on this stage, on the senior national.
The debate around whether she should have been in the starting five from the beginning of the tournament is not one that is going away. Caitlin Clark's return to competitive basketball after a 2-3-9-day absence produced the kind of performance that made the wait feel irrelevant. Team USA dismantled their opponent 110-46, and Clark's contribution from the bench was the standout story of the game. 17 points, 4 of 5 from beyond the arc, and 12 assists across just over 19 minutes of floor time. Ryan Howard led all scorers with 21 points.
Pure dominance by USA basketball. 110-46, the final score. Caitlin Clark had a berserk 17 points. Wow. 4 of 5 from three-point range. 12 assists in 19 minutes and 21 seconds. Absolute, pure, unadulterated domination. Ryan Howard added.
A particularly well-executed pass from Clark to Angel Reese was among the sharper individual moments in an overall display that was difficult to find fault with. The ball movement throughout Clark's time on the court carried the hallmarks of a player who processes the game several steps ahead of the defense. Pass after pass arrived at exactly the right moment, finding cutters, kicking out to shooters, threading the ball into positions where teammates could attack before the defense had time to recover. The volume and precision of the assist total in under 20 minutes was extraordinary.
21 in this game, and I got to tell you, there was a nice pass in this game from Caitlin Clark to Angel Reese. A real nice pass. But it is exactly where and what we was hoping we would see. It was back. Caitlin Clark from deep. Let's check it out. Right here. And she's going to come around the side, way downtown. Boom. Knock.
What dominated the conversation before and after the game was not the result itself, but the decision to keep Clark off the starting unit. Chelsea Gray received a starting spot and finished with 3 points, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds in 11 minutes. The gap between those numbers and what Clark produced from the reserve role was not subtle, and it did not go unnoticed. The reaction across social media was swift and heavily one-sided.
Boom. Knocked it in. I mean, absolutely beautiful stuff. Here we go. This is our first 3 right here. You got Kelsey Plum over to Monique Billings, over to Caitlin Clark. Boom. Right there with the little kiss off the glass. Absolutely. But she was dishing it.
Viewers who had tuned in specifically to watch Clark expressed frustration at having to wait for her entry, with many stating outright that her absence from the opening lineup undermined the purpose of watching at all. The halftime numbers, 8 points and 8 assists for Clark before the break, only sharpened that reaction. The argument being made in comment sections and across platforms was consistent. The most productive player on the roster, returning from an extended layoff, demonstrated her quality immediately upon entering the game.
Dishing it out. I said online, I'm having John Stockton flashbacks. If you're old enough to know, then you know John Stockton was one hell of a point guard dishing out the rock. Let's watch.
Hands it right back, and Clark.
Right here. Yeah. Yeah, right there. That was nice. Very nice. One more time.
That performance made the case for a starting role more plainly than any statistical argument could. There is also a broader context that keeps surfacing in these discussions. The WNBA's recent growth in attendance, broadcast numbers, and commercial value has been driven in significant part by Clark's presence in the league.
Very nice. One more time. How about one more time? It looks like that's Billings to the basket for the layup. You know you were watching WNBA players when, unfortunately, once again, there was a whole lot of missed layups in this game. A whole lot of missed layups. How about another 3 right here from Caitlin? Let's check it out.
5-in, 5-out substitution pattern.
One more time. One more time.
The players set to benefit most from the salary increases tied to the new CBA are doing so in an environment that Clark's arrival fundamentally transformed. The decision to manage her as a bench option in a high-visibility national team tournament sits uneasily against that backdrop for a large portion of the current fan base. The venue and scheduling decisions drew their own share of criticism.
One more time. Over, way downtown, booyaka. Yeah. Knocked it in. It was real nice. Real nice. So, oh boy. Let's just go. Let me refresh this. This was the starting 5 announcement. I did not know who was starting. I was not monitoring this, and then the starting 5 came on the court. By the way, Angel Reese.
The game was staged in Puerto Rico with a 5 p.m. Wednesday tip-off. A combination that predictably produced sparse attendance. The atmosphere suffered noticeably as a result.
This, and then the starting 5 came on the court. By the way, Angel Reese started in this game. Okay. But, yeah, sure. Let's put Chelsea Gray in. What is the deal, folks? What is the deal? Chelsea Gray, 11 minutes, 3 points, 1 assist. 2 rebounds. Stop it. Stop that nonsense. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Clown show.
Playing a showcase event for the national team program in front of a near-empty building on a midweek afternoon undermines the visual presentation of the sport regardless of the quality of basketball being played. Those are correctable decisions, and the criticism being directed at them is not unfair. None of that changes what actually happened between the lines.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Clown show. I definitely turned it off when I saw Caitlin wasn't starting. A joke. Shake my head. Clown show. CC not starting. Just a joke. Woo, boy. Boo, man. Why is Caitlin Clark not starting? Not taking anything away from these girls, but I'm tuning in specifically to see her. You guys are terrible. I mean, wow. Wow. Let us know when they put CC.
Clark came off the bench, posted a double-double in her first competitive game in over 7 months, and was the most impactful individual on the court for either team during her time in it. The absence of a starting designation did not limit what she was able to produce. What it did do was delay it, and for a viewing audience that showed up specifically to watch her play, that delay carried a cost.